Hello, Algebra 2 class. Even though I'm out today, I wanted to be sure that we had continuity in our lesson from 2 days ago. So I would appreciate it if you would get out your handout. Some of you turned these in, and you need to get your paper copy from our substitute teacher today. So if that's the case and you don't have your copy, please go ahead and pause the video before we get started. And be ready to write with a pencil. I would like it if you would correct any answers that you have incorrect. And I'll try to move quickly. I'm only going to do some of the odd numbers if there was something that I think was eccentric or that I want you to pay attention to. Also, at any time, the substitute has the privilege and the right of reseating you if you cannot be respectfully quiet today. And the substitute also knows that this is a no iPad class. Okay, now that housekeeping stuff is done, let's get started. So we're going to be looking just quickly at number 5. This is called mapping, and this was something we didn't have a chance to cover. I'm sorry, before I ran out. So we have our x values on one side, and those x values are mapped to y values. So we have x equals -4 in this set. We have x equals -2 in this set, and x equals 5 for the domain. But I want you to notice that the 5 is mapped to 2 numbers. So we can already answer the question, is this a function? And that answer is going to be no. In the range for our y values, we have 0, 3, 7, and 9. Okay, let's have a quick look at number 7. So here we have points. And when we're looking at the domain, we're only interested in the x values. So here's our 0 on the x-axis, and we're moving 1, 2, 3, -3. And we can already tell that we have not 1, but 2 points with a -3 on the x value. And moving from left to right, because remember we're putting our domain, our x values in from the smallest number to the largest. So our next one would be right here at 0. And then we have +2 and 4 in this set, okay? So already we can answer the question, is this a function? And our answer would be no, because that x value is duplicated. And remember, if we were to do that vertical line test, we now have the vertical line test failing because there are not 1 but 2 x points that it will be running through, okay? I should probably do some erasing here because I wrote all over it. Okay, so let's have a quick look at our y values. Okay, so we're going to look at range. And remember, again, we're going to go from the lowest value to the highest value. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5. So I actually get -5 for the first one, followed by a -2, -1, a 1, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 4 in that set. So that's what this one would look like. Okay, this is where I feel it became unfair because I left early and we couldn't work on a problem together like number 9. So in this particular problem, we have 2 this intersecting line, remember this goes on forever in both directions. And let's have a quick look at where our lowest x value falls. Well, that's right here at -4, okay? But this is very strange. Okay, this is going to be an inequality because x actually goes from -4 everywhere in this direction. Why does it do that? Well, it does that because these lines go on forever. They keep continuing, and both of these lines will actually continue on in the x direction forever. So the only way we can represent that is with an inequality. Lucky for us, we just had a unit where we learned how to represent an inequality. So in this case, x is going to be greater than or equal to, because remember, that's a solid point of that line, -4. Okay, I'm going to erase this for a moment and get us started on the range or those y values. Actually, my eraser is not working so great. That's okay. We'll leave it. I'll just use a new color. So when we start thinking about those y values or the range, we also need to consider that these lines just keep going on and on and on forever, and on and on and on forever. And for that reason, y can be any value. So we say that the range is all real numbers. And the abbreviation that we're going to use for that, so that we don't have to write that all the time, is this. So the range, or the values for y, can equal all real numbers. And so you have to think of y as going in this direction and in this direction. But because these two lines go on forever, that will be our answer. And you can answer, is this a function? Well, let's do our vertical line test. Does it pass through x only one time? It does not. So we have that answer as no. Okay, let's have a quick look at number 11. Guess what? You are going to have the opportunity to use your iPads for the last 4 problems. There is a website that I'd like you to use, and it's called Desmos.com. I want you to go there because they have a graphing calculator that you can use, and it's very simple to use. And if you have any trouble using it, you can ask one of your classmates who seems to have success with it, if it seems to be more intuitive for them. But when we look at number 11 and graph that, we end up with a curve like so. And let me see, where is mine hitting the axes? It's hitting at somewhere under 2 and somewhere above -2 and somewhere at, okay, I didn't do a very good representation, but also somewhere at 3 on the y-axis. Okay. So we can already do our vertical line test and we can see, is this a function? Well, yes, it is. No matter where we place our vertical line, we're only ever going to hit one time. Okay, but this particular function has lines that go on forever. And because these lines are going to go on forever and forever, our domain, and again, we're going to use that abbreviation, it's going to end up being all real numbers. Okay. but our y can never be higher than 3. So, but our y value will continue in the other direction. So that's going to leave us with an inequality again. So we end up, for our range, y is less than or equal to 3. Okay? So I hope that that gives you some answers and gives you some clarity where it may have been confusing from 2 days ago, because I had to run out for an appointment. I apologize, in the middle of class, and we never got to finish all of our notes on this section before you had to go and solve these for yourselves. Oops.